Tell me if this sounds familiar. You get a spark of motivation, whether that be because it's like your birthday, New Year's resolutions, I don't know, just a spark of motivation, and you decide to make a change in your life, right? For example, you might want to go to the gym, you might want to start a new diet, you might want to start a healthy lifestyle. And you tell yourself it's going to be different, right? And maybe it is for the first 1, 2, 3 weeks, and you're consistent, you're locked in, you have everything working towards what you want to become in the future, and then it just breaks down, right? Perhaps a friend asks you to go for a dinner that perhaps is a bit too much calories, or you're going to have to skip your gym session because you weren't able to go earlier in the morning. Or you just don't feel like 100%, you feel a little sick, and you tell yourself, oh, well, I need to rest, I've been doing really well, and there's no harm in taking a day off. And then that day becomes 1 day, to 2 days, to 3 days, and I'm sure you guys know the rest, right? And it's just a continuous cycle of just a spark of motivation, doing really well for a short amount of time, and then the rest is as you fall off. I think that's something we can all relate to. But there is a way, believe it or not, to kind of mitigate this. And I've actually used it myself when starting to go to the gym. And originally when I first started to go to the gym, I think 4 years ago. And for myself, it's been very helpful in the sense of me not missing any days other than the ones that I schedule. And it's the simple idea, the mindset shift, that you have to make these things that you want to accomplish non-negotiable to the highest degree. And what does that mean? What does that look like? Why is this important? Please relax. Those questions will be answered in due time. So firstly, what is the kind of like the benefits of making your goals non-negotiable? And the quickest one, and the one that comes to the mind, is that the progress that you make towards these goals will be just day and night, right? When you make things non-negotiable in your life, that means that you are going to stick to a consistent schedule, and you are going to do it no matter what happens. It does not matter if a friend invites you out. It does not matter if you are sick. It does not matter if you are not feeling well. It does not matter if you break your leg. You are still going to do the things that you say you're going to do despite all of that. Obviously, it's going to feel like shit a couple times. And perhaps if you're going out with your friends and you tell them, oh, hey, I can't come out, they might look at you funny. They might be like, oh, wow, you're kind of just like flaking on us. But the trade-off for that is the fact that you are going to have much more time dedicated to these non-negotiables, to these things that you want to do. And the progress that you make will ideally more than make up from the kind of discomfort that you have initially when kind of implementing this into your life. And at the end, I'll kind of explain how you can mitigate this discomfort as well if you use a little bit of careful planning. So again, non-negotiables, very quick progress because you're spending just more time, and more time, and you're being more consistent, and that ultimately is what's going to push the needle towards the goals that you want to do. Right. Now, the next thing that non-negotiables in your life have, and this can be with anything, it makes dictating what you do with your time, and more importantly, saying no to the things that are not as important, much easier. I'm sure you guys have been in this situation where your friend invites you to do something and you just don't want to go. Be it that you're just a bit tired, you're just a bit you just don't want to go, but you can't really make like a good excuse. Now, I'm not here trying to preach that you should be making excuses if you don't want to go. If you don't want to go, you don't want to go. Tell your friend straight up. But if you have something you are genuinely doing with your time, something that is non-negotiable, it's in the name, right? It's like, okay, I'm going to the gym at this time. My friend says, okay, do you want to like hang out? You say, no, I'm going to the gym. I have this to do. And it's literally just a matter of priorities. And it doesn't mean that you don't care about your friend. It doesn't mean that they're a terrible person. It just means that, listen, this is important to me. And right now, that's what I got to do. And if you don't like that, that's not my problem, right? I think it's obviously like in moderation, right? You don't want to just always be like finding an excuse to kind of just ditch on your friends. I think you got to really analyze and evaluate your relationship there. But I think it's important to have things that you can do and non-negotiables, so that when you don't feel guilty about saying no, or you feel less guilty because you know in your heart that, hey, this is something that is non-negotiable, and so non-negotiable to the point where I have no fear, no discomfort, no nothing when I say I can't go because I have this to do, because it's just so high up on my priority list. The last point I want to bring up is the fact that non-negotiables, it kind of ties into the second point I made about saying no. It will make people respect you a lot more, right? Now, what do I mean by that, right? Again, I'm sure you know people who just kind of go with the flow, right? If they're within a party, or like, say for example, you're saying like, oh, what should we get to eat tonight? And everyone's like, there's the guys who's like, I'm fine with anything. You might be one of them yourself. I am often one of the I just don't care, right? But when you have, say for example, non-negotiables, say for example, your non-negotiable is that you will not eat out beef. Not even like a religious reason, but you say for example, you've done your research and you found out beef is not healthy for you, right? Or it's not congruent with your lifestyle. Not to say that it is or isn't, but this is just a hypothetical example. When you go out and your friends say, oh, what should we eat? And they say, oh, let's go get like beef burger. You're like, sorry guys, can't come, or I'm not interested. Can we get something else? Or you still go, but you just don't eat. And it shows people will respect you more because it shows that you have set boundaries, that this is what I will do, this is what I won't do. And no amount of pressure, whether that be societal, whether that be peer pressure, whether that be pressure from other people, is going to change what I believe, because I am confident in what I'm saying, right? And people really love that. And I think people love that because it's very hard to do. It's hard to do because there's so many times where it's just like you're getting nudged by so many different directions to just go with the flow. It's easy. It's what everyone else does, to go with the flow and do that's the easy way out. But to kind of make your own opinions, make your own stay, and stand on that opinion, and even if it is wrong, nothing saying that the opinion you make is going to be right 100% of times. There will be times where it'll be wrong, but to stand on that opinion and have the humility to see if it is wrong, you can see the issues with it, to kind of be like, step back and be like, oh, I was wrong. This is so and so. Outside of the scope of the topic today, but the point is people will respect you more, and you will respect yourself because you have your own boundaries that you will not cross for nobody, right? And that's what makes you a better, a more respectable person, in my opinion. Now, I know what you guys are probably thinking, but wouldn't this just make me kind of like flexible as a person? Wouldn't me just having so many non-negotiables just make me just like a very rigid person, and no one would want to hang out with me? I'd be very boring, all that jazz. And this is what I alluded to at the start of the video, a kind of a trick or a way to make it so that these non-negotiables don't actually make interacting with people a lot more difficult. And it's in the name, and it's common sense, but don't get into situations where you have to negotiate these non-negotiables. What do I mean by that? If you know that you are going to hang out with your friends in the night or in the evening after work, for example, why are you saving, for example, for me, a non-negotiable for me is the gym. Why are you saving it until the evening where you have to pick between two? Why not instead just do it in the morning, where you don't have to negotiate with anybody, you don't have to negotiate with anyone, and you can just do it at your own time, your own leisure, and then you still have that time in the evening to do the stuff that you want to do, right? For example, if your non-negotiable is that you do not drink, you don't drink alcohol, whether that be religious or a personal reason, right? Why are you getting yourself into situations where drinking can be an option? If you know that you don't want to drink, then don't go to bars. If you know you don't want to smoke, then go to like lounges, right? Again, there's nothing saying like if you are strong with your boundaries in and of yourself, then you can go to those situations and enjoy the place for the place, or enjoy it with the friends that you're there for, or friends that you're with. But if you don't want to deal with that headache, no one is forcing you, right? No one's forcing you to go to a bar. No one's forcing you to go to a lounge. No one's forcing you to do any of these things. You can kind of set up your social circle, your social activities in a way that allows you to not negotiate these non-negotiables. Because the best way, and this is actually a quote about like willpower. I think I read this in the book a while ago, but the best way to have a lot of willpower is to not use it. And that means that if you want to be able to say no to things, just don't get into the situation to say no in the first place. Just don't be there, and it makes it so much more easier. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today, guys. As you can see in the new crib, I'm back with my studies, but that doesn't mean any of these videos are going to be slowing down. So look forward to the next one. But yeah, until next time.